Imagine what that looks like in 8 months when PSA vaults unleash and all those graded submissions of Prizm come back. You think you're really cool because you got your Justin Jefferson Prizm base graded at a 10? Cool. So did 3,000 other people, and they all hit the market at the same time. Like, if you're not holding at that point, hoping Justin Jefferson goes up in the next year or two, you probably just kind of wasted the extra the extra shot because you invested in something thinking Prizm was going to be the end all be all. We're not going to see the impact of the print runs come back until PSA clears the line. And when PSA clears the line, there's going to be so many broken-hearted, unhappy people that spent a whole lot of money on Prizm thinking it was the end all be all product, and then ends up going, oh, the population reports are 5,000 PSA 10s on a Justin Jefferson rookie or a Justin Herbert rookie. And then everybody's just like,
Now,
oh,
just keep in mind, it's simple economics. If the demand meets the supply,
right,
then people won't be upset. They won't be.
Right. If
they'll be just fine with their Prizm
as long as
$500
Justin Jefferson
rookie card.
Yeah, as long as 5,000 other people want to pay for graded Justin Jefferson rookie cards.
But with Prizm being the hot product, there's a chance that happens, and
sure.
Prizm still maintains its premium as the premier product to have. It could happen, even if it is the most graded thing out there. I mean, Luka Doncic has approached. He's over 15,000 PSA 10 Prizm rookie cards now, and they are still north of $1,000. Now they've taken a dip, but they're still $1,000.
I am not convinced that Prizm is going to continue to be the product. I also think that Luka rookies are from the 2019 run of Prizm. Like, I think 2020 Prizm across the board was overprinted. And I think people are going to realize that. I just don't believe that the demand will stay up. People are going to stop. There are some people that are just temporarily collecting. They're buying in for a little bit here and there. There's going to be people that spend their $20 on buying a card. It doesn't go up in price and be like, oh, well, that was a waste. That's going to happen. More importantly, things like NBA Top Shot are going to come along, and those are going to hit the youth. Yeah. The youth of America, the youth of the world are going to start looking at cryptocurrency because they were already wanting to buy into Bitcoin and wanted to buy, right?
So, no, you're right there. They're going to find other things too.
so what happens? Because I can tell you right now, the old timers, the guys talking about, got to get the kids in the hobby and things like that are talking about, Targets and Walmarts being cleared out, and that's robbing kids of buying into the hobby. There are no kids going to Target and Walmart trying to buy these cards while they're waiting in line with mom at the grocery aisle, right? That doesn't happen. The lines at the supermarket are so much less now. Targets and Walmarts, you don't stand in line there hardly at all. Maybe around Christmas time, but this product wasn't getting into the hands of kids. The old-timers want you to believe that breakers are stealing out of the mouths of babes, so to speak. They're taking candy from babies. Man, the kids are so technologically advanced, these old-timers haven't caught up with the idea.
They're the ones running the bots.
The kids are the ones running the bots, buying everything online. The kids are buying into cryptocurrency. The kids are...
They got whole walls of Prizm.
Right. Right. The kids... and honestly, the last time I went to an aisle and
they're stealing from me.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying at this point, man... The old-timers are spreading disinformation, and I'm not trying to discredit the old-timers. They weathered the storm of when sports cards were this close to being a thing of the past. Sports cards have been this close to being a thing of the past for a number of years, and only in the last 3 years or so have they managed to make a comeback and rebound. Because the hobby was this close to being gone. Collectors, people physically wanting to buy into things was going away. That was a thing in the past. And then all of a sudden, you have certain aspects triggering nostalgic pieces. The Last Dance sends Jordan through the roof. You have the Mike Trout idea. I'm still convinced that Vegas Dave basically with his Ferraris and his flashy gold chains and, all the women in bikinis around a Vegas pool. I'm still convinced that what he did is he basically made it cool to collect cards when he's flashing his Mike Trout for 300,000 and then sells it for 4 mil. Like, all he did right there was get a bunch of 20 somethings and 18-year-old somethings to go, oh man, Mike Trout cards, or oh man, baseball cards are cool because Vegas Dave, who has a Ferrari and a gold chain and 10 Instagram models around a swimming pool, he's buying sports cards. I need to too, right? What old timers in the industry don't get, that gets kids into collecting. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. It is what it is. But Aoki cracking open a Charizard on his stuff got so much hype for Pokemon that Nintendo should be sending him a thank you letter every day with signed, sealed, and delivered autographs from Japan.
Logan Paul, yeah.
Well, and Logan Paul's the come after, right? I mean, so Logic buying a Charizard and basically writing the check. What did he write it for? $250,000 or whatever it was, $200,000. And I mean, those types of influencers are what's driving young people into something. When those influencers... How
about the fact that Snoop Dogg is in Project 70? Just the fact that Snoop Dogg is in Project 70 brings in a whole different demographic of people that will now be interested in baseball cards because Snoop Dogg is making baseball cards.
Well, and I mean, Aoki making baseball cards. That's the other thing. Like Aoki making right.
All of them, yeah.
Those are the things that drive youth into buying into something that is an old school hobby. Okay? NBA Top Shot is new school hobby. Trading cards, old school hobby. How do you get new school collectors into old school collectibles? You bring in the influencers to show them why it's an investment worth their time and how it's cool. That's it. That's all you got to do. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing more big names jump in and they're influencing people to buy it. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Amazon, like they've been paying influencers for a long time and they titled it influencers for a reason. Gary Vee has a massive impact on the sports card market. When he comes out and goes, this card and this card, boom, it's like a rocket ship, right? Immediately, 10,000 of his viewers go out and see if they can buy that card. And the 3,000 of them that can afford it, buy it. Immediately, 3,000 of those cards off the marketplace and investment opportunity, right? Gary Vee can pull that switch. Aoki can be like, Charizard, I got another one, or here's the card I want. And immediately, there are 20,000, young people, younger than me, in their 20s and or, maybe early 30s, but probably in their 20s and late teens, that immediately go, I want to go buy that card. eBay, what is that? Google, what is that? And then the 1,000 of them that can afford to buy whatever random, $10,000 card Aoki has just sitting around that he showed that day, they buy that card. And then there's demand on that card, and it influences the prices. I think that it's important when we're looking at this to understand that breakers are not robbing kids of getting product. If anything, kids are able to buy into breaks more affordably, and it's putting the cards in a technology form of consumption that kids are already consuming daily. Kids are on iPads and smartphones and computers more than they are just about anywhere else. They're not at Target sitting with mom waiting to check out.
Yeah.
Not happening. And the kids...
They're on their iPad.
Right.
In line with mom.
Yeah, I mean, they're looking at something else. And if they're doing cards, they're breaking in line. They don't want what's on the shelf because they're breaking or doing something. What I'm getting at is, unless you are a dad who takes your son and goes, son, this is what I did. You can collect baseball cards with me, which, by the way, is becoming less and less. Kids aren't finding cards in mass retail in Targets and Walmarts. And Panini is not going to stop selling to them because Panini's making a mint with it. They're able to print tons of cards, push them into mass retail. They can just put a bunch of variants on it, which aren't necessarily worth very much more money. They can keep filling them with points and bad autographs and funneling good stuff into hobby, and people are still consuming it. people are still buying it up, and they're not robbing kids. Panini knows it's not robbing kids. That's why they're still supporting it. They're not taking candy from babies by these dudes in knee-high socks and New Balances and shorts, and they're tucked in polo, scraping everything into a basket. They're not taking.